I'm going to show you how to bring in tile maps into your game. It's a much easier way to draw different shapes and solids. Like if you wanted to put walls in here to contain your player or stop him from moving, or your enemies. I'm just going to show you a quick way to put walls and such in using a tile map. The advantage of using a tile map than individual sprites is that you have multiple objects on a map that you can then draw with. So rather than me talk about it, let me go ahead and explain. First thing we're going to do is go to one of the royalty-free sites to grab a tile map already made. OpenGameArt's a great site. When you go to search, be sure to search tile map instead. It's just you have better luck finding an actual tile map rather than individual PNGs that you can bring in. So I know for a fact this one works really well. It's got grass and such. So you click on it. You can kind of get a closer view of it, but you really need to click on the actual file right here, floor tile set.png. Click on that. It'll go to your downloads. Let's go back to our game. We use the same one for this. So in order to put the tile map in, it's an object type. So you're going to go ahead and right click, add new object type, go to tile map, insert. It's going to pull up a default here. Oh, you're going to click on your game, sorry. It's going to pull up this default tile map. You're going to replace it. You're going to go get the one that you just downloaded. So click on that folder, go to your downloads. You're going to bring this in. So I lucked out here and the grid lines up. If you bring a tile map in and things aren't lining up, you want to go up here to this grid. You can toggle it on and off. You want to be sure and check this. If the grid's not right, it's not going to draw your tile map correctly in the game. So to configure that, you go configure grid. Say you brought it in and it was off and it was set for 8 by 8. Actually, that may or may not work. Let's do 8 by 8. Much smaller, it could still work, but I like to have like 1 pixel per tile. So to do it properly for this one, configure, you want it to be 16 by 16. Back on, and now it is correct. Actually, what am I saying? This is a 32. We want to configure this, make it 32 by 32. This should be right now. Okay, so now we have a perfect grid per pixel to draw each one of these in our game. So that's pretty much it here. We're going to go ahead and close that. Come back over into our game and let's go ahead and start using this tile map. But before we do that, you want to make sure your tile map is put on the right layer. So to check things, I always check and uncheck here. So we've got our HUD, which right now my enemies are on. Looks like just those and the text area where the score would be. That's not quite done yet. And then layer 0 is the background as well as my player. So we want these walls to be on the same layer as the player. We want to stop the player and have some solid walls. So be sure when you go to your tile map and make sure you're clicked on tile map, go over here and make sure it's on the right layer and it needs to be on layer 0. Okay, so to start drawing with the tile map, right down here, there's a tab tile map and you want to click the pen tool and you can start drawing things. So I'm just going to show you how to draw. Let's pretend there's just a block wall here. I don't know, put some things in to make his life a little difficult, make the game more challenging. And let's go ahead and play. And let's just test it and see, is this indeed solid? Nope, that's a problem. So my player's going underneath it. You need to go ahead and make a change to that. So to fix that, go back onto your tile map. You're going to go over here, make sure you're under properties, and you want to change the behavior to add new behavior solid. And then let's go ahead and try this out. Now we should have some solid walls. I think the enemies still come through the walls because they're on a different layer. So that's something if you wanted to change that. Yeah, so this is solid now, which is good. Player runs into it. That's what we want, making the game a little bit more challenging. Just double check. Yep. So we're good with that. That's how you easily add walls and floors and things like that. Now, if you wanted your tile map to be part of the background, you just wanted him to float over or under, that's where you have to change where you put it on your different layers. So keep that in mind. Really, it's trial and error figuring these things out. But tile maps are probably your best bet for bringing in multiple, different visuals, walls, floors, textures, objects at a time without having to bring in separate PNGs. Again, go to those royalty-free sites and just have fun. Good luck.